technology. All right, well, without further ado, I first of all would like to introduce a friend. Cal Fussman is a New York Times best-selling author, world-renowned interviewer, keynote speaker, and corporate consultant on interviewing storytelling. His keynotes and interactive workshops are derived from decades of interviewing hundreds of the world's most extraordinary individuals. He inspires organizations to take a new look at their business through storytelling, connection, and the fundamental idea that changing your questions can change your life. Over the last year, Cal has delivered keynotes at dozens of companies, including Facebook, General Motors, Pixar, Twitter, Apple Music, Snapchat, Samsung, Turner Broadcasting, Vans, Lululemon, colleges like UCLA and Georgetown, and at conferences as far as South Africa. In fact, weeks after Cal spoke at Facebook, Chris Sanders in Global Marketing Solutions said, "We literally have people using the term now, Cal Question. He has become a part of our culture." Cal's speaking career blossomed after millions of people heard him interviewed on Tim Ferriss's podcast. "When I told my podcast listeners that I was doing a second interview with Cal," said Ferriss, "dozens replied with some variation of, 'Please just let Cal talk for 3 hours. I could listen to him tell stories forever.'" As a writer for Esquire, ESPN, GQ, Sports Illustrated, and the Washington Post, Sunday Magazine over the years, Cal has transformed oral history into art form, conducting probing interviews with the icons who shaped the last half-century of world history. And listen to this list of people. He has interviewed Mikhail Gorbachev, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, Jimmy Carter, Serena Williams, Ted Kennedy, Quincy Jones, Jack Welch, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Muhammad Ali, and hundreds of others. The Austin Chronicle has described Fussman's interviewing skills as peerless. Born in Brooklyn, Fussman spent 10 straight years traveling the world swimming with over 18-foot tiger sharks, rolling around with mountain gorillas in Rwanda, searching for gold in the Amazon. Cal actually boxed against then undefeated world champion Julio Cesar Chavez, served as a sommelier atop the World Trade Center, and he actually won a James Baird Award. He now lives with his beautiful wife, Gloria, whom he met while on his quest to discover the world's most beautiful beach, and guides his 3 children from Los Angeles, where he spends every morning eating breakfast with his dear friend, Larry King. And now for Mr. King. A chance meeting with a CBS television announcer set King on a pathway to a career in radio. The announcer told him to go to Florida, a state with a growing media market that was hiring inexperienced broadcasters. King got his first break on Miami radio station WAHR, which is now known as WMBM in Miami Beach. Initially, the job was to clean up the station and perform odd jobs. But when one of their male announcers quit in May of 1957, King was put on to replace him. He must have impressed his manager because King was immediately put on the 9 a.m. to 12 noon shift. He also did 2 afternoon newscasts and sportscasts, doing all this while receiving a wonderful salary of $55 a week, which made Mr. King feel like he was fulfilling a life and long-term dream. The name he was going by at the time, was Larry Zeiger, which didn't sit well with the station's general manager since the manager thought it sounded a little bit too ethnic and was hard to remember. Minutes before the young Larry Zeiger was to go on air, he chose the last name King after seeing an advertisement for King's Wholesale Liquor. King soon found popularity in the South Florida radio scene. In fact, in 1960, He premiered his first program on Miami television and built up a strong local following, adding the newspaper column in the entertainment sections of the Miami Herald and Miami News to his radio and television duties. During the 60s, he met television legend Jackie Gleason, who was producing a national television variety show, Miami Beach, at that same time. And Mr. King later credited Mr. Gleason for teaching him much about television production and has called him his mentor. He was hired by WIOD in 1978, starting a nightly coast-to-coast talk show, The Larry King Show, on the Mutual Radio Network. The show featured guest interviews and call-ins from the listening audience and became very successful, growing to over 500 affiliate stations. This work caught the attention of a media mogul by the name of Ted Turner, who hired King to host his own talk show on the then fledgling cable news network CNN in 1985. Larry King Live became the first international TV call-in show. Over the course of the next 25 years, King developed a loyal audience who tuned in to watch the talk show host interview presidents, athletes, actors, national heroes, foreign dignitaries, and obscure individuals who were thrust into the limelight. The show soon became the highest rated talk show on the air and a requisite stopover for celebrities who were plugging any project. King's direct, non-confrontational interview style proved to be a hit with audiences and guests alike. As a testament to the show's influence, Ross Perot, do you remember Ross Perot? Back in 1992, chose to announce his candidacy for president with Mr. King. Outside his career as talk show host, King has appeared as himself in several movies and television shows. He's also done voice work in such animated films as Shrek 2, Shrek the Third, and B-Movie. He's also written several books on heart disease after he actually suffered a life-changing moment in 1987 when he had a heart attack. King's autobiography, which by the way was authored with Mr. Fussman, called My Remarkable Journey, was published in 2009. In 2012, King launched his own web series, Larry King Now, that is the same vein as his talk show on CNN. The web series is available on Aura TV, Hulu, and RT Russia Today. He is married to Sean Aura Eggman, and they got married on September 5th, 1997, and the two have two incredible sons who I've yet to have the opportunity of meeting. Their names, Chance and Cannon. Without further ado, again, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. This is an amazing and proud moment for me to welcome up on stage Mr. Larry King and Mr. Cal Fussman.
You don't get one.
There's only one microphone?
First, I'll prove it's me.